to the Fantasy Footballers Sunday Live.
Oh, yeah, baby. Here we go. Championship weekend. This is what you're playing for right here. This is our League of Record trophy. It currently belongs to Jason Moore from last year, and I'm hoping to seize it today. Each and every one of you in championship title matches. The tilt is real, but it is time to put the process to the test. Put your best foot forward. Play the guys that give you the best opportunity to win. And today, here on Sunday Live, I am joined by Papa Josh and Judge Giamatti over in Deucer's Alley, who have volunteered their time this morning to help get you ready for title. Well, it's for a title. Let's just put it that way. It's time to win it, and I am here to help you get through it's a very big mess in many ways. There are a lot of injuries. There are a lot of players that like the meme that is going around, just kind of like, I brought you here, but now you're on your own. Raheem Mostert said, go, young one. Fly on your own without me. Keenan Allen said, I won't be here for you. But here we are. We got to make decisions. We got to make big-time choices, and that is what it's all about. So let's dig right in. First of all, before I do that, I just want to thank everybody for joining us all year long. Most of the time you've seen Mike the Fantasy Hitman here on Sunday Live, who is here every week helping you out. I'm stepping in for him today because he's a puddle. Part of it, he's a puddle, just a tilted puddle, and it's also his son's birthday. So I am excited to get into it, and let's do that right now.
The big picture.
All right, big picture. We got our actives, our inactives, our surprises last night. I was, nestling into my bed. It was late, and I look into our Slack channel, and what do I see but Raheem Mostert, who his head coach said, Mike McDaniel said, should be good to go. Liar. You're a liar. No. Should be good to go. That is false. And now decisions to be made. Obviously, the big one, Devon Achane, 100% locked into your lineups. Now, here's where it gets complicated. You're looking for an option outside of Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert, he has carried you here. 21 total touchdowns on the year. People want to know, is Jeff Wilson Jr. an option? Last week against Dallas, Jeff Wilson got a key drive to salt the game away, including a key first down on 3rd and 2. Down in the red zone, a lot of Jeff Wilson. Seemed like a lot of responsibility handed over to him where it could have been Devon Achane. Mostert was still playing. It was Jeff Wilson. The problem is the matchup. You're in Baltimore. No Jalen Waddle. You're not favored. The game script says Achane's going to have the kind of opportunity that wins you a championship. Jeff Wilson, the kind of opportunity that you're just not sure of. He is an option. You're talking low-end flex option. You're talking desperation play. That's where I'm at with Jeff Wilson. I've got him as the backup. I have 4 title games today. So a lot of what you're going to hear, it's advice I'm putting directly into practice in my own leagues. I've got Jeff Wilson as an option. In a lot of those leagues, I'm going somewhere else because I need more upside. Wilson is a lock for 6 to 8 points today, I think. But unless he's getting passing game work, which, look, we don't have a sample size enough, and it's Baltimore, you're not getting a lot more than that unless he gets on the goal line and you get a little Gus Bus experience with Jeff Wilson. That's where I am with the Mostert situation. You just got to gird your loins. If you missed him, there's no time to complain and cry and make a mistake. You just got to move on for Mostert. Quarterbacks, no Trevor Lawrence. Throws a little bit of shade for people on Calvin Ridley. He's still a wide receiver 2 for me. Jacoby Brissett is out. He was going to get the start. It gave you some confidence in Terry McLaurin. Then he tweaked his hamstring in practice, warmed up before the game. He's not going to play. Sam Howell. I'm not excited about Sam Howell. So Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, risky plays. Josh Jacobs is officially out, which means Zamir White will get an opportunity yet again. Brooksy, you said you have never seen a player dominate the start-sit tool on the website more than Zamir White.
That's correct. I'd say 90% of the searches.
And guess what? Zamir White, unlike Jeff Wilson, unlike some of these backup options, He gets to play an Indianapolis Colts defense that no matter how you slice it, last 3, last 5, last 8 weeks, or on the whole season, they're a top 5 matchup for running backs, sitting at number 3 right now. Best matchup for running backs. Zamir White, to me, a lock for 15 points in this matchup today, the way that Antonio Pierce and this Raiders offense is committed to the running the football. 15-point floor for me, 25-point ceiling, league-winning type of player. Jason's got him the highest in our rankings. And Zamir White, you got to find a way to get him in. I like him more than Ty Chandler, but we're going to get into all of those questions here when we get into He's So Hot right now. I'm going through big picture, Brooks, but I'm just flowing. Alvin Kamara was ill. He's going to play. Kenneth Walker expected to play afternoon game, Scary Town. Scary Town. You don't want to go live in Scary Town, Brooks. I think Kenneth Walker's a risk, but it's Pittsburgh, and he's Kenneth Walker, so they expect him to play. He played and made Charbonnet pretty irrelevant when he played last. We'll get into it. Isaiah Pacheco expected to play today in the afternoon. Again, Scary Town. He is a resident. Zay Flowers, people were waiting all week. Zay Flowers is going to play. That's big news. DK Metcalf, lower back injury, expected to play this afternoon. Jamar Chase, game time decision. Indications that I have seen, I make no guarantees, but I think he's going to play football today. And then we have the big other news. Hunter Henry's out again. That's unfortunate. Cole Kmet, 100 yards in the first half last week. He's going to play. You can put him in your lineup. Are there any other big-time names that I'm forgetting here, Brooks, before we get into it? Look, lots of decisions to be made today, but we're gonna talk through all of them. And hopefully you're ready to rumble. So let's do it.
He's so hot right now.
All right, Brooksy, you've got the questions for me, and I've got the answers for the Foot Clan for everybody listening.
Yes, sir. These are the most popular search players on the Start Sit tool on the website, thefantasyfootballers.com. And you already answered the top one. You said you'd play Zamir easily over Ty Chandler.
I did not say the word easily, Brooks. Don't you dare toss that word.
That's the vibes I got.
Okay, you got an easily vibe?
Yeah.
It's not easily.
Okay.
But it is over. Yes, I would play Zamir White over. The risk-reward ratio. You don't know Madison's involvement could go up this week. Ty Chandler, not efficient last week, scored a touchdown. I lean Zamir White.
All right. How about Zamir or Zeke against the Bills?
Yeah, I'm playing Zamir White on that one. I think Zeke's a good play, though. Don't hear what I'm not saying, as Jason would utter.
All right. You mentioned you got to get this guy in your lineup earlier. Devon Achane, you playing him or Zamir?
I'm playing Achane.
Okay, more
upside I'm going to play Achane just because you got big play capabilities there. Zamir White is still reliant on volume. And so if the game script flips somehow, maybe you see Abdullah out there, I would play Devon Achane and hope that they lean on him, particularly in the passing game with no Jalen Waddle.
All right, couple more Zamir here.
Yeah, the Zamir hour.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Zamir hour. James Conner or Zamir White's like top 5 search.
Yeah, Zamir White is safer than James Conner. So, yeah, I'm going to go Zamir White. Zamir White, for me, is sitting at 14. I think he's around there for Jason. But there's a safety in Zamir White this week that doesn't exist in some of these questionable other assets. Even when you look at, like, Kenneth Walker, like I'll probably move Zamir White up, like, one more spot because Kenneth Walker could get banged up again. And against Pittsburgh, their defense shows up from time to time. So, Zamir has a safety to me against Indianapolis. They're just so weak on the ground, and the Raiders have been executing.
All right, I'm going to hit you with a couple flex questions of
Flex.
Zamir.
Let's
He's
do
so
it.
popular. Say Zay Flowers or Zamir White.
Zamir White. I think he's winning
upside, right?
He's winning all of them right now. Yeah, I mean, Zay Flowers has upside, but we also saw him disappear a couple weeks ago. Zamir is going to get everything. They didn't pass for 3 quarters last week.
Okay, how about this one? DJ Moore or Zamir White?
DJ Moore didn't show up on the injury report. You see where I have DJ Moore ranked this week. It's an Atlanta matchup. They are not a cakewalk by any means. DJ Moore is the go-to receiver for Justin Fields. I guess I lean the DJ Moore side, but if I was a favorite, I would play Zamir White. I'll put it that way. That is a big component I should focus on here and remind people out there. All start sit tool. We got to start sit tool on our website. So, like, if you're freaking out and your question doesn't get through, which it probably won't with the thousands coming in right now, we have a tool to go and look at the breakdown. And our start sit tool doesn't just say, start this guy, sit this guy. It gives you a breakdown of the, total situation, the over-under of the game, and the matchup, and, are they good against that position? We give you the information, but you got to make a decision that isn't as simple as, I know it's nice from an accountability standpoint to just say, the website told me to do it. And we're here to give you that resource and tell you what we would do in your shoes in a vacuum. But there's a huge difference between being a heavy favorite on Sunday morning or being an underdog. And there's a difference in the type of player you play in those matchups. Zamir White, like I said, floor is there. But DJ Moore put up a 40-something point game this year with 3 touchdowns. And so if you are coming from behind, you need to have some pop in your lineup. And there's a big difference there. So you've got to make a judgment call, a contextual decision based on your league and based on your matchup with the information that we give you and the information you're gathering as we get close to kickoff. So, Brooksy, what else we got?
All right, let's go to C.J. Stroud, another popular player. You playing him versus the Titans or Justin Fields versus Falcons like you were talking about?
Yeah, I dug into this morning. Stroud's got upside this week against Tennessee, no question, but I am leaning Justin Fields in this one. Justin Fields has the rushing baseline. You don't have the 2-week absence for C.J. Stroud. The concussion, could something reoccur? Justin Fields, to me, I have him at 7 this week. I do have Mahomes 1 spot ahead because I'm very bullish on Mahomes this week, but I do like Fields a little bit more. Stroud provides a lot of opportunity for Nico Collins, Noah Brown, and that offense to move the football.
All right, one more popular Stroud question. Of course, they're back-to-back in your rankings. Stroud or Matthew Stafford versus Giants?
Yeah. Earlier this morning, Stroud was 1 spot ahead. Right now, Stroud's 1 spot behind. A little bit of fluctuation there. Part of that is Houston, Tennessee, divisional matchup. Like on paper, Tennessee, great matchup. Sometimes those games get played a little closer. I don't think people were very happy last week with the production from Seattle until late in the game at the wide receiver room against Tennessee. Everyone thought these guys were all locks and superstars, and you didn't see it. So I'm going to leave a little margin there. Stafford against the Giants, I don't expect him to go crazy because Kyron Williams is getting so many opportunities, but 202 I feel like is a lock for Matthew Stafford. It's about that for Stroud, but I got Stafford 1 spot higher.
All right, a couple of defense questions here, Andy. You playing the Raiders versus Colts or Bears and Falcons? Bears versus Falcons.
Right, yeah. That is they're both good. They're both very close in my matchups. I've seen that question a lot this week. Chicago's been playing good on the defensive side of the ball. Atlanta's offense has less, in my opinion, less opportunity in this one to get it going than maybe the Colts do. So I kind of lean the Chicago way. It's very, very close. The Raiders' defense has been on fire. A lot of that has been 2 consecutive games, I think, with 2 touchdowns. Both viable plays.
All right, going one more defense. Jaguars versus Panthers or Broncos versus the Chargers?
Yeah, I really like the Broncos this week. I think I like their defense a little bit more than the average, than the consensus. Both are good matchups. Carolina showed a little bit of spark last week, getting DJ Chark involved. Some plays around the end. Thielen was better. Jacksonville could provide some short fields for the opposing offense. And look, that's the sucky part is if C.J. Beathard makes a mistake, it's a 20-yard field. I bet Carolina can even score on a 20-yard field. So that leans me to the what was the other one? So you had Jacksonville, and then you had what was the other?
Broncos.
Broncos. Yeah, it leads me to the Broncos side. You got no Keenan Allen. You've got no Josh Palmer. So right now it's going to be a slogfest there in Denver.
All right, last one. Are you going with Kyler Murray or are you sending in the car?
Send in the car.
Yeah, I am going to play Kyler in this one. I'm going to play Kyler. The more I look at this matchup in Philadelphia, the more I lean with Mike. In fact, I may change we do our picks here in the studio, against the spread, and we compare it with one another every week. Originally, I settled in pretty quick on Philadelphia. Jonathan Gannon's familiar with what Philadelphia's doing, and Philadelphia's been struggling a little on offense. Not that Arizona will win the game, but I think that game may be a little bit closer than expected. Kyler, I think he's going to run the football. He's got to lean on Trey McBride, Greg Dortch. It's not a great ensemble, but I will go. Sending in the car, the matchup is great, but the trap has been set by that man, and I think I'm going to go Kyler.
When we were recording Friday's show, I was trying to quickly look back and see the last time if he ever had 3 good fantasy weeks in a row. And I wasn't able to get all the way back through the years, but I kept going back.
Hasn't happened recently?
I had trouble finding that. So.
No, that's a tough one. You try to lean on these matchups, and we on our Stream Finder tool, which is on the website, that thing's huge because you can break it down into last 3, last 5, last 8. A lot of defenses have transformed. The Raiders are one of them. If you just look at the whole year versus the last 8 weeks, big difference in how they produce. So we have all this information, but then you saw what happened. Momentum for a team, coaching. I had this conversation yesterday. Sometimes the unquantifiable, you can't lean on that stuff. But Jonathan Gannon being familiar with that offense, the struggles of Philadelphia, maybe that game's a little closer, and Kyler has an opportunity there to be a little better than expected. I'm at 11. I'm behind Stroud and Stafford. I've got him ahead of Geno and Carr, Love. Tua's in a tough spot this week against Baltimore without Waddle and without Mostert. So generally a lot of questions about Tua I'm sure are out there too, and I'm very nervous against Baltimore. We just saw 4 turnovers from Brock Purdy against Baltimore last week. Anything else, Brooksy, or are we moving on?
Moving on.
Stardom, set 'em.
I think I'm running out of air, Brooks. I am so geeked up over championship week. And the crazy thing is we got 10 games in the morning. 10 or morning for us, the early games. So I'm seeing a billion questions come through here. One player we didn't talk enough about over the course of the week, Jaden Reed for Green Bay, seeing Calvin Ridley or Jaden Reed here in a full point PPR. That situation, Jaden Reed missed last week. He's been playing through injuries. Green Bay's on the road in Minnesota. I lead the Ridley side. I'm the most bullish on Ridley with Beathard of this group, so I don't think Ridley is a wide receiver 1 this week, but I think he's in that situation like Jake Browning and Jamar Chase where he's still going to be peppered with a lot of targets. Papa Josh, are you in any title games this week where you have any conundrums you need answered?
No, I'm chilling, man.
Oh,
nice.
Man. But you're chilling with us, and I appreciate that. Thought you might have been in one, maybe some other league, but no, just hanging out.
Yeah,
just another Sunday.
Yeah, just enjoying Sunday.
You smoking any meat on that smoker?
I did whole chicken.
Yeah. I noticed that your interest in smoking, it kind of correlated with your disinterest in when your team was eliminated. You became a much better.
I got a lot more free time now.
Yeah. Aaron Jones or James Conner? Aaron Jones looked great last week. Tough matchup against Minnesota. I'm going to go with the start of the week that Mike had, James Conner in that one, by a smidge. Both good plays, though. Yeah, there have been some situations this week where, the start-sit decisions put forth by listeners, by people going into the week, both of those guys might be able – if I say they're both good plays, there might be another player that you can pull out of your lineup. I had one earlier – someone was asking, Ty Chandler and Zamir White. And I'm like, well, you got to play Zamir White. But I'd love to have Ty Chandler in my lineup, depending on the circumstances. They had, Demarcus Robinson in there. And it was like, okay, I'm going to play Ty Chandler or Demarcus Robinson this week and not play with a little bit of fire with that touchdown run he's on. Start 2, Seth Peterson, Puka, Olave, Nico. That is a tough one. I love Olave this week. I'm not sitting Puka after last week. Nico could have a big game, but I'm going to go Puka and Olave with that one. Kyler or Baker? I have Baker ahead of Kyler this week. He's been on a roll, a couple spots higher. So that's the direction that I'm going to go in that very difficult decision that I wish I would, I could. That's what Mike would do, is what I meant to say. Not me. Everyone wants to know, is Jaden Reed a good start? Jaden Reed has been a go-to receiver for this team. They've dealt with injuries. Minnesota's a tough defense. The problem with Jaden Reed is that his depth of target generally and the way they're using him is that He's got to score. Now he's been scoring, but it's a tough matchup. So Jaden Reed is a flex play this week. Let me put it that way. Zamir White or Flowers? We answered that one. Let me move on here. Man, these are coming in quick. Oh boy, JTG has a dirty, nasty question. You got that button?
One sec.
Okay, you can hit it whenever you find it. Jacoby Myers or Wandale Robinson with Tyrod Taylor. I'm going to go Jacoby Myers in that one because we've seen a few big games here or there. We have not seen that from Wandale. But that's nasty. That is a nasty one. Jeff Wilson or Brian Robinson?
What were you saying there, Andy? Sorry.
It was nasty.
Oh, okay.
Nasty. Tackiest writes in Jeff Wilson or Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson of the Commanders against the 49ers. Jeff Wilson in that matchup. I'll take Brian Robinson because he is the starter for that team. But neither one do I have high ceiling confidence in. Tough matchups. Etienne or Achane, if you were making that decision, the matchup for Travis Etienne this week. Let me see where I have him ranked. I got him ranked 7th this week. It's Carolina. Heavy dependency without Lawrence. Achane I have at 9. I'm just going to tell you the numbers that I got. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'd like to play them both. If you can't play them both, that's shocking to me. But that's the way my rankings break down. Jamar Chase or Rashee Rice? Oh, boy. That's a tough question, too. The matchup is very good for the Chiefs at home. Rashee Rice been targeted double digits. They brought back McCole Hardman this week. I don't care that much. Not a lot. Did get some targets for Richie James last week. I'm not going to sit. I'm not going to sit Jamar Chase, though. Higher potential. If he's active. The problem is, they're both afternoon at least, so you can make that decision. No problem there, actually. No problem, Brooks. Bills or Rams defense? Bills against the Patriots. Rams, they have a great matchup against the Giants. I'll play the Bills. Zap, zap, zap. Maybe some interceptions, some fumbles in that situation. Barkley or Flowers? I'm playing Barkley. Blah, blah has that question for me. Jeff Wilson, Pop Douglas, Juwan Johnson. Hit that button. That's nasty. Garrett, Jeff Wilson, Pop Douglas, Juwan Johnson, half PPR. The Jeff Wilson, Pop Douglas one, that's tough. Neither of those guys are going to score you more than 10 points, I don't believe. And neither will Juwan Johnson. So I'm going to go with Pop Douglas in a negative game script. I have that exact decision, but I have another guy that I'm going to bring up. Don't sleep on Darius Slayton this week. Darius Slayton is a flex sleeper for an underdog team. He's not for the favorite. He's for an underdog team or a team devoid of upside. The Rams are the worst in the National Football League at giving up big plays to outside wide receivers. Dead last. Darius Slayton's playing every snap with Tyrod Taylor, who threw him a long touchdown last week. Don't sleep on that. Negative game script for the Giants, very likely in this one. Darius Slayton could garbage time you to a trophy. And we don't care how we get that trophy. We don't care if we have to steal that trophy. Right? Jason taught me that. Just take it. All right. I guess you got to win it, but I don't care if it's garbage time. Not one bit. All right. We're going a couple more questions, Brooks. Do you have anything special that has popped up you need to mention?
No.
I'm basically running on pure adrenaline over here. Just tilt adrenaline, whatever that is. I've got most of my decisions made now. It's just time to watch and see if my opponents catch up. Thank you, CeeDee Lamb. All right. Zamir White he is everywhere in here. And that's true because those players that you pick up and they're not part of your normal rotation, they just end up in there. Nico Collins or Pacheco in a full PPR? Awesome question. Nico for me. Nico, not an injury risk to the degree that Pacheco is. And why don't we find one more, Brooks? Do you have the chat open?
Yeah, let's see here.
One more. I don't care what it is.
Jordan Addison or Tyler Lockett?
Lockett. Yeah, I'm going to go Lockett in this one. Metcalf could unexpectedly leave. The targets have been there in the last couple of weeks. It's a good question. Before I close this down, I want everybody to take a deep breath. Here's the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I'm going to break it to you. If you lose today, it's going to suck. And it should suck if you lose, because that's what fantasy football is about. And guess what? If you win today and you get this thing, it's going to be great, because you have to have the ability to have a loss hurt really, really bad. Deucer's Alley. Go ahead and go over to Deucer's Alley right now. You see that guy in the middle? This guy, he put everything on the line, and you know what? I bet it sucked. Did it suck?
It sucks.
And does it still suck?
It still sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And come back over here. Come back over here. See this guy? Ask me. Was it great? It was so great. It was so great. Fantasy's full of that. One team wins. We're trying to make it the most fun you've ever had on this show. And so a shout out to the producers over there, everybody on our team, as we close out this regular season for fantasy football, which is our 9th season as a podcast. Thank you to everybody that's listening. We're trying to make you have the best opportunity to win, but only one team wins. If you lose, it's going to suck. If you win, rejoice. Let us know on Twitter at the FF Ballers, and we will be with you. And we're not going anywhere. It's a year-round podcast. So we're going to close this week out. We're going to take a breath for New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody out there. And guess what? We're going to be back. We got more shows. And we'll help out the Week 18 crowd and your stupid leagues or stupid commissioners that don't want to change the league. But we'll help you all out next week. It's the most painful week we do, but we love you. So it's sometimes you do things for the people you love, even when it hurts. And then we'll be here for the rest of your reactions. We'll reflect on the season. We'll dig in. I mean, it'll come quickly with the rookies, free agency, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. Good luck in your title games. Let's go get them. Let's go get that trophy. Goodbye, everybody. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, everyone but Josh. Josh can't do it because he's out.